Oh, man, we made it. We made it.
We did.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming back to the Bobcast. Today we got J.P. Harris.
Grazie.
You live in Nashville, right?
I do. Yep.
How long you been living here?
12 years.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
And been grinding music the whole time.
Pretty much, yeah. Grinding music and grinding nails into buildings. One of the equal
You're
parts of the
You're
two.
a builder.
I'm a historic restoration carpenter. I like to pride myself. I like to differentiate between a lot of my friends are like, oh man, my girlfriend just bought a house and you do construction, right? And I stop them right there. I'm like, I don't do construction. I'm a carpenter. You know, I have but I do a little bit of everything. But mostly, I work on old buildings. I've been doing it for 25 years or something. You know, when
That's
I was
pretty cool.
Yeah, when I was just fucking around playing old time music and was like, Hank Williams is fun to play drunk at the campfire. And before I had any ideas of doing music stuff, I was a carpenter before that. So I've just kind of never stopped doing it. So.
And you go to Europe a lot?
Yeah, I've been going for a while, probably, I don't know, 9 or 10 years or something like that. Like, once or twice a year.
Cool. Yeah, that's about like me too.
Over. Yeah. And, just, I don't know, go see something different. I mean, it's not like I make a shitload of money doing it, but it feels kind of like a paid vacation, like I get a complex about needing to feel like I'm working for my, time traveling and out doing all kinds of weird stuff, so.
Do you carry a band with you when you tour?
Yeah, pretty much always. I've done a couple of other, me and my buddy John R. Miller did a really fun split bill tour.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite dudes, man.
That one song, and when I heard, I'm drinking motor oil.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, Red Eyes? Oh, man. That tune fucking rips. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
that's up there. That's in my
John knows
list.
how to write songs for people like us, not just people who listen to people like us.
Right, people like us. I heard it. I heard it.
I mean?
I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Oh God, you've been there,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. And me and John have been there over the years. We've known each other
Wow.
for, I don't know, probably getting on 20 years. We met at Fiddler's Conventions in West Virginia years ago when he used to play in a string band up there. And we just stayed buddies, and when he first moved down to Nashville, we'd all been bugging him for years. Like, you should move to Nashville, dude. You're one of the best songwriters we know. Like, blah, blah. And he was like, I don't know. He was just getting drunk up in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. And eventually he moved down. And he worked on a couple jobs with me off and on over the years. And, he's played in my band before.
Wow.
Killer dude. But we did a really fun tour together. And I've got a kind of an old time. I mentioned I met him at Fiddler's Conventions years ago, and so before I started writing country songs, I just played old string band music, playing banjo and guitar and stuff. And he and I met at a bunch of those and became buddies. And so a handful of years ago, I made sort of a side project record of just the darkest, creepiest, most obscure old time ballads I could find, and was like, fuck it, this is for me, it's not for anybody else. And then enough people liked it that I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to go tour this in Europe. And me and John put a little tour together. And
nice.
Yeah, it was real fun. So, yeah.
I love music, man.
Yeah, I know. No shit. Apparently we do, because none of us have quit so far, despite not being rich and famous yet.
I know, right? It's a grind, man.
It is.
And what do you think about the new system?
Man, God,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
I want some Rolling Stone money, and I want like a... I want somebody to rent me out the top floor of a hotel for a week to play 9 nights in a row at some fucking arena in 1972. But at the same time, I don't know. I started playing music. I mean, we're all old enough to be on that. We're on the cusp there of. None of us had cell phones or the internet. There was no streaming music. There's none of that shit when we were kids. Like, CDs were brand. I mean, I was buying tapes till I was 15.
Yeah.
Because CDs were too expensive and I didn't have a fucking CD player. And then we've, as young adults and then into older young adults, grown-up kids, have watched everything go total fucking topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
And none of the reference points or rules of engagement of being a musician from when we all came up apply anymore, but we're still young enough to need to adapt or
get left behind.
And you know, there's aspects of it. I mean, yeah, it's like it would be great if we got paid more money for people listening to our music for free on the internet. And at the same time, because people like you and me and all the other types of folks you have on the show, like we exist a few steps outside of anything that would ever become the mainstream music world.
Yeah.
If not a lot of steps out of it, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know. And
I knew that going in.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
I
me
already
too.
knew, look at me. I was like, okay, well, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, I'm
not
never
your
gonna be
clean,
that dude.
safe bet.
No.
I listen to fucking G.G. Allen and Hank 3.
There is no return on investment in these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You will never get it back.
I do what I want when I want.
Yeah, exactly. But
So that's not going to work.
yeah, but you know, the cool part about being like existing in this new weird digital future with streaming and you know, and everything moving a mile a minute, but still being kind of outsiders, is that now people like you and I and all these other, you know, peers of ours, our music is accessible now to people who never would have found it unless some random dude they went to college with went to the States for 1 week between school years and found a tape that a guy at a bar gave him and came back and was like, you've never heard of this, check it out, it's this dude Bob Wayne, I found him in a bar. Or this guy JP Harris. Now they can find it on the internet. And I've come to find that rather than people just listening to our music for free all the time, those people will come out to see our shows and they'll buy t-shirts. They're far enough with us out of the mainstream that they understand how streaming and the digital world has in so many ways fucked a ton of people out of the money we could have otherwise made.
I felt it.
And I think they're making up for it, you know,
Well,
like the fans are.
I mean,
Yeah, I think they definitely, like you said, they're aware of that and how it works,
Yep.
and they want to support the artists that they love by going to shows, buying merch, buying vinyl, buying,
exactly.
you know, everything
and
else.
honestly, liking the videos, following
yeah.
us.
exactly.
Because
Sharing
the-
stuff.
the-
Sharing it, yeah.
Well, the promoters now are like looking at when they go to book a festival and I get pitched for a festival, the first thing they do is go look at my Instagram. I go, okay, he's got
Yeah.
11,000 followers. It's not too big, but it's something.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, he's got something going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get him on the
People are
festival.
paying
So
attention.
even just those likes and follow, it does all help.
It does. And it's a weird, you know, I mean, I don't think anyone over the age of 30 some odd, you know, at this point in time can get their head around coming up in an era where the connections between social media and success and all and the numbers and the metrics and all that shit. I mean, it's a mind fuck for people
Yeah.
like us, you know, but I think that all of us are doing a pretty fucking good job at adapting at
We're
this
still
point.
here.
Yeah, we're still here.
I'm still here, man.
Still making
I'm
records, still
trucking.
playing shows,
I'm
you
still
know?
going on tour.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what's cool about having like real fans too, and not just internet fans,
Yep.
but real fans.
Oh yeah.
When you know they want their Bob Wayne day.
Exactly.
You know, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of towns. It's like if I don't go, they start getting pissed.
Yeah.
Like when
Oh,
you
yeah.
coming to when you coming back. You know?
Totally. Well, and there's a
They-
good example, you know, like back, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I remember talking to some friends of mine who work on the industry side of things, and there was this young gal who's going to remain unnamed, but you saw her on the street, you'd be like, oh, she must be friends with Bob Wayne and J.P. Harris. And I was, you know, punky, you know, folk singer, used to be a punk train writer, kind of entire following was built on viral TikTok videos. Had never been on tour in her life. Some management company got a hold of her, books this entire
yeah.
tour, you know, and
That's awesome.
Well,
man.
and they're all excited about it. However, they booked everything and based all the guarantees and the size of venues and everything off of fucking TikTok views. And the tour executed, and promoters I knew who were working parts of that tour were like, we're getting like 10% of the turnout that her management said was going to come out because of TikTok views. And it's like, wait, okay, you have to live outside of the fucking internet too. I mean, I wrote a song at the end of 2020. I put it out on New Year's Day 2021 after that fucking nut job lizard people guy blew up the RV downtown. And I wrote this song Wasn't really meant to be a protest
I love that
song, but
song.
more. It was.
I fucking love
Yeah,
it.
it's
See,
great.
It's just a
that's the
fuck
song.
you, everybody. You're out of your goddamn
That's
minds.
the song that your brother's cousin got the tape for.
Exactly. He's like, yeah,
Traveled
this
across the
fucking guy-
country so he could play it.
Exactly.
So he could say, "You gotta hear this song."
Exactly,
See,
you gotta
that's
check
how-
this
that's-
shit out.
And that's why I fucking.
And so, and
I like your shit, dude.
Thanks, man. Well, and I wrote it as a joke, and then I put up a video of it on the internet because I was so fed up with the absurdity of everything going on around me, including the internet, and how the internet played a big part in why this crazy son of a bitch blew up half of fucking downtown Nashville with an RV bomb. And the next day, I got a text from a friend of mine. He was like, "Holy fuck, man, great new tune."
Sorry, dude. Okay.
All right.
Sorry, man.
No,
It
you're
was
good.
Freaking me out because I didn't see the thing. All right, we're good.
Oh, he's like, that new tune, it's going fucking bananas, man. What a killer tune. I was like, oh, thanks. Haha, great. Like 30 minutes later. Meanwhile, get this. Me and John R. Miller are fucking laying brick that day.
Oh.
This is like 2 weeks before. I'm trying to tell my client on this job. He was like, man, I really like your buddy John. He's really cool. And they're, I work for pretty cool people mostly, but a lot of them having no fucking clue what's going on in the music world. And I'm like, yeah, man, John's one of the best songwriters we ever got in Nashville, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, cool, man, right on. And 2-3 weeks later, we wrap up the job. I went back to do something, and the guy was like, dude, I just saw John on a Spotify billboard. I was like, I fucking told you, the guy in the yard cutting brick is one of the best songwriters in Nashville. And he's like, oh, wow, John, I never thought about that, So me and John Miller are laying fucking brick. And I keep getting these texts from people, and they're like, fucking song is hot shit, man, it's blowing up. And I was like, that's really great. Thanks, guys. Well, you remember, if you were here when that shit happened, that the guy officially knocked out all the cell service pretty much in Nashville with this car bomb, on Christmas morning.
that. Yeah.
None of the cell phones worked for 2 or 3 days. So my phone basically didn't work. Like, texts would go through, but I couldn't look at the internet or do any of that shit. And I was like, well, whatever, I'm working. I don't fucking care. Nothing to see anyways. And then I got a text from another buddy of mine. He was like, hey, man, I sent this song to a friend of mine, and she really liked it, and she put it up on the internet. And if you can, I heard the cell service isn't working there, but if you can get to a computer, you should look it up. And it was Pink, the pop star fucking Pink, put that song up.
Wow.
Because she saw it, because a friend of mine produced a record
Sick.
for her years ago and was like, you're going to laugh at this shit, and sent it over to
Wow.
her. And it was awesome. And I was really stoked that it reached so many people. And there were some really cool independent media groups that contacted me and wrote articles about, the relationship of weirdos and country music to the mainstream bullshit. It didn't make me $150 fucking dollars. It didn't. I wrote a good song that I'm proud of and I'm glad is out in the world, but I didn't see. Yeah, I think by the time I was able to actually look at the internet a couple days later, it was at 500 or 600 or 700,000 views. I thought that there was some glitch in the matrix, and the number was wrong. I was like, there's no way that many people have seen this. And it didn't amount to anything, and I never expected it to. I didn't get caught up
Yeah, exactly.
in this.
No, we go. I go and I don't look back. Once I put it
No.
out there, it's cool, whatever. But I move forward. We just had a clip. Our podcast clip went viral, up to 700,000.
Yeah.
Holy
something like
shit.
that,
A
yeah.
clip of this. Onto, it's up. It's like
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
But I'm
It
like, okay, cool.
hasn't
We
done
need
anything.
You're
like
not gonna cancel all the tours you got coming up.
No,
So
dude,
you're like,
we
I
can't-
better focus on my podcast.
No, we're looking for more
Yeah.
clips.
Exactly. Yeah. Get some
We're
more
looking
clips
for
here.
more
yeah.
clips. You know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Speaking of which, maybe we get a song clip.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah?
I can do that. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Let's see. I spend most nights at home these days. I'm looking good, so my friends all say when they see me. Yeah, which is kinda rarely. I do my drinking down at the soda shop. No more bars, no more barley pops for me these days. Yeah, I changed my ways, and I know it seems that I'm better off, but I can't shake these thoughts, Lord, when I quit drinking. I'll my memories come back clear. You'll find me weeping and sipping off a bottle filled with tears. A bar mirror shows me the old me that had your love back then. When I quit drinking, I start thinking about starting up again. It's nice to know where I was last night. Looks good on paper to be living right. Yeah, I'm a brand new man, and I got a fly right plan. And if I'm lost in thought, Lord, I'm doing fine. Just sometimes get these clouds in my mind, but when they're gone away, somehow the sky's still gray. Oh, and thanks for the offer, but I'll just stay in and walk the floor again. Lord, when I quit drinking, all my memories come back clear. You'll find me weeping and sipping off a bottle filled with tears. A bar mirror shows me the old me that had your love back then. When I quit drinking, I start thinking about starting up again.
Yeah, that was a good song, man.
Thanks,
I
man.
like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a song that one of the few, I don't know about you, but I'm like a stream of consciousness songwriter. I don't write very many songs, and when I do, it's usually like I get an idea, a piece of a chorus or something catchy gets in my head, and then I go sit down and I write the song, maybe touch it one more time, and then it's done. So I'm not like I've never been good at like crafting pieces of songs.
No,
over
yeah,
time,
me
you
neither.
know,
I
I'm
sit
like-
down. It's a quick. Well,
Yeah,
not
it
quick.
is.
So it could be a couple hours, but
Yeah,
I never
and you
go.
might go
I don't,
back
I,
to it a little, but you know.
Yeah, but I'll get the basis down.
Exactly. Yeah.
A good start, like
Yeah.
at least to where the melody and the hook or the chorus or
Exactly, and the
something
rest
strong.
you're like, okay, I can
I can
see
fill
the
this shit
blurry
any other-
outline. Yeah,
yeah.
the rest of this is gonna
Right.
fucking write itself. And that's like one of the only songs I've ever written where I wrote the chorus. I was like, man, that's a country ass chorus right there. That's gonna hold up. That's gonna hold water, man. I'm gonna get across the ocean on that one. And it took me 5 fucking years before I ever came up with the rest of the whole, like the all the verse melody and
Oh, wow.
lyrics. Yeah, I gave up on it after about a year, and then it just out of nowhere kind of came to me. So it's my only long form writing project was that song. And long form meaning I wrote the chorus in 10 minutes, and then 5 years later I wrote the whole rest of the song in another 20. So, you know, I mean, it was
Yeah.
still all told a pretty short process. It just kind of spaced out, but
Do you ever do did you ever get into the co-write game where people you meet up in an office at
with
10
like gray carpet
and
and
nice to meet you.
and a
Nice
K-cup
to meet you.
machine and
We're writing for this 18-year-old rapper girl. She wants dark, edgy lyrics. or
yeah,
something.
yeah. I really, I've had absolutely zero near brushes with that.
Really?
There's been weird things since I moved down here. I had a lot of buddies that were in the professional level of the music business long before I was even thinking that was, a far off dream or anything. And I don't know if professional is what I would call myself, but working musician for sure. And I would hear all these funny stories about co-writes and publishing deals and all this bullshit. And I was like, yeah, whatever. This all sounds like something from a movie. I don't understand
Right.
any of this jargon you guys are talking
I
about.
know. I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
brother.
you know,
I'm
and
figuring it out.
Yeah, and then I moved down here to Nashville, and then I realized I was like, oh shit, like this is actually people's jobs, and like people I get to meet that just seem like normal folks I knew from the bar that wrote good songs. They're like, oh well, yeah, like my day job is I just like write these shitty pop songs or whatever, you know. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like it must take a lot out of you. And they're like, nah, dude, I just churn them out. Like, none of them ever get cut, but you know, like they keep me on staff, you know.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
cool.
oh, wow, cool. And you know, I entertain the idea because I mean, I have. I'm not gonna say I have not written some really awesomely shitty pop country hooks in my day in the van, you know, in the back.
yeah.
You're like, all right, dude, we got to get from Nashville to fucking whatever Salt Lake. You know, we're gonna leave at 8 today, and we're gonna get there at 6 tomorrow night. You know, and I'm in the back being like, oh man, like fuck this body like a dirt back road. Whatever, I can write way better. Watch this shitty shit I can write. And I've done plenty of that, and I even have gone so far as to entertain the idea of like maybe I should try and write pop country songs. I'm like, man, I like don't even have enough time to like fucking, you know, like keep the floors clean in the house, like let alone sit around trying to write songs for other people on the radio. And I'm not saying that it's a bad way to make a living. I just, you know, we already kind of know what we're doing with ourselves. You know, we're not trying to figure out where we're going or who we're gonna be. It's like, well, this is the only thing I'm good at doing. Is the kind of music and the kind of lifestyle and personality that I have is like, this is what we do, which is a big part of why we're going to have fans and supporters that last their whole careers, you know, because
They're real.
Yeah. They know that they're getting the whole picture every time that they come to see you, and they're getting the real deal, you know, and it's not like, well, which hat is this guy wearing when he shows up next, you know, and you know, for better or for worse, it can be frustrating as shit sometimes. You're like, man, I could use like an extra $1,000 a month for anything like tires or like fucking, you know, electric bill or whatever. But also, if we're all making ends meet, you know, I haven't found any incentive yet to do anything that doesn't feel like me doing myself, you know, making the music I want to make. So,
Speaking of good songs.
oh shit, do I have to have one more good song? I only have that one. But
You got one more good song?
I got one more good song.
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
do it. JP Harris, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to all y'all. Hell yeah. We're going to close her down after this. JP, thanks for coming, brother.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, you guys. Appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah, that was fun.
It's then corn just ringing a bell, searching for heaven, looking like hell. Wondered how I wound up south of that Georgia line. I've been chasing my tail, scratching my fleas, trying to get the rabbit out to LOG. But this old dog, he done dug a little too deep this time, baby. Ooh, I lost my mind out on the highway. My inspiration with my nose. Yes, high-flying situations led to some minor complications. I'm sweating them out in this motel room alone. Yes, some hot mess honeys dancing on the bar top. Spray tan door man selling me pop rock. Said, if you're good to drive, boy, I got your deal. Yeah, but you know it's hard to tell where you're going when it's 85 and snowing. You've powdered your face till you can't feel. Lord Jesus, won't you take the wheel? I said, I lost my mind out on the highway. Yeah, seeking my inspiration with my nose. Yeah, these high-flying situations led to some minor complications. Now I'm sweating them out in this motel room alone. Nights are reds and blues, uppers, downers, lefters, righters, on my way around her, but trying to hold on a little bit of soul that I got. Yeah, the index by credit cards and rolled up singles, backwater bad deals and men's room mingles.